part of Laura dreads the next few nights that lay ahead of her. Not because she'll be unsafe, risking her life, or doing something otherwise dangerous, but because of how mundane and routine it'll all be. And yet, its necessity does not lessen. Welcome back to Project Zomboid, everybody. We are back to the older build, as you can see when we zoom in. We are now pixelated, a little bit less pretty than we once were, but I'm okay with it. Overall, that's pretty much the only difference. Everything else has been updated accordingly, and so on. The devs have acknowledged that the stutteriness every 20 to 30 minutes or so is something that is known, and they're working on it. I'm glad that they know, and I'm glad it's being worked on. There's not much more I can do about it. They've also changed some of the foraging stuff, I think. A recent update hit. I don't know, that doesn't look... Oh yeah, they added, I guess, some stuff over here. Yeah, they messed around with some of the UI elements and some of the options for the finer things, like being able to what do you call it? Forage, and there was another one too, I just don't remember what it was. So good, I'm glad. What we need to do, as I said in the beginning here, and it's something that I'm dreading partially as well, is just the mundane work of finishing the wall and doing all this other stuff. I need to get a hammer and nails as well, because I am going to want to make some wooden containers over here. What I also need to do is start taking tires on and off and on and off and on and off, so I can get the mechanic skill check up. I also need to start taking apart all kinds of, let's take this out. Electronics as we come across them. I need to bury these bodies. These bodies have been sitting out here for a long time. I just kind of want to turn the rest of that front yard into a grave. Maybe we'll actually put some grave markers on it at some point. But with a lug wrench in tow, I think what Laura's going to do is take the night to head to the nearest car. And I want to... Oh, we got to get metalworking done too, which is why I wanted to go take down those cars that were lying to the north. And that requires me taking my propane tank, which I left on the ground out there. There's just a lot. There's a lot going on here. I get to that point where we start building on a lot of tasks, and which one I want to tackle when becomes hard to figure out. Let's just draw his attention. Hey, sir, if you could just thank you. Nothing special. I just want to find a car that we've kind of left behind. I thought there was some up here. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I'm thinking a little further north. Alright, we are getting to the point where we need to be careful now. These are all the zombies I ran over relentlessly and cleared out. Is that a cop? No, somebody with just a bandage on his head. A holster! We have a holster. Oh, that was a police officer somehow. He doesn't look like a police officer, but he's a police officer. A man of the law. Oh, yeah. All right. Is this the one we want? Do we want the M9? Oh, it's going to be hard to see in the dark, but I'm so excited. Attached to the holster. And now it's in number 4. So now I can quickly take it out. Swap out. Oh, shit. I don't know where, but I hear them. Hey. Okay. Spooky McSpookums. Ooh, we want that, though. I don't think I have... Here? I was gonna say, I don't think I have a, oh, here's a car. Perfect. Oh, man, I'm getting distracted. Sorry, we're just in a lot of trouble. Oh, there's so many. All right, you know what? Screw it. I'm glad we came out here. But we don't need to be out this far out. We can just go take apart the cars that are parked over there. I just don't know why I didn't do that. Let's... Ooh. I want to fill up our water. Our water bottle has kind of dried up and emptied out. Back home and safe, but now hopefully I can see myself a little bit better. I'd really love to see this holster if I can. I don't... Oh, there it is. You can kind of see the gun on the side. You can see the gun right on the left. So it's just like right up against my hip. Cool. I'm happy with it. Don't ask why. I don't know. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to keep the 30 mils. Or at least, I'm sorry, not the 30 mils, the 9 mils. Because we're not very good with a gun yet. So why waste the better ammo with our bad aim? All right. Oh, we have a sledgehammer too. Oh, this is what happens when you don't play for like a week. I completely forgot we had a sledgehammer. Genius. All right. So here's the plan for the rest of the evening. I am going to go ahead and pop over to this vehicle here. Make sure we're clear. Can I not? I might have to go on this side. Oh, no, you know what? Screw it, dude. Let's just do it onto our weaponized car. Why bother risking anything else when I can just do it up here? And all we're going to do is work on taking a tire on and off, and on and off, and on and off. Until the day is done. Oh, we gotta go get a jack. But this is what I'm gonna do. I'm sure Dean's already done a bunch of editing anyway. So here's how this is gonna go. Let's get this jack. I'll show you how this is done. And then, you know, I'm just gonna repeat that process for a while. We'll do it on this one. And this is what we're just going to keep on doing over and over and over again. And then when it's out, we do this and install it. And then we just do it over and over. Poor Laura. You can see why she was probably not particularly thrilled to be doing this. But here we are. Changing tires. As 6 o'clock in the morning reels around, and I am done changing tires, we step away after a long night's work. All netting us just about halfway, a little bit more to the first point. So another night of doing that should get us where we need. We destroyed a tire entirely in the process, and then almost got about halfway to destroying this one. But it's starting to get dark out, and it's we're starting to get a little over encumbered and hurting ourselves a bit for basically holding those tires over and over again. And they go right into our inventory, so it tends to weigh us down. Not a huge deal as we step away. Like I said, I'm quite happy with where we're at. If we can get the mechanic skill done today, you know, I'd be pretty happy. But there's just a lot of things that still need to be done that all are just in different areas of our expertise, from wanting to take care of the car and getting our mechanics up so we can hotwire and not have to worry about keys, to our gardening in the back and making sure our tomatoes, which we should check tomorrow. We're going to bed anxious, which we shouldn't do because we're probably going to have a nightmare. We want to finish the walls up. We want to get the walls on the streets going. We want to get our own like little workstation outside going. There's a lot of things that we want to do. And the rain is never ending. I'm starting to weigh Laura down a bit. So many rainy days in a row can get on your mood, can get certainly rather under your skin. We'll pound some soda. Not the healthiest of breakfast choices, but better than nothing, and we'll have the other half when we get hungry. I'm very curious how our tomatoes are doing. I'm hoping they're about done. The bright side to having so much rain is that the tomatoes are certainly not requiring that much work this year for us. Plenty of zombies being heard over there. We're gonna have to start cleaning up our house again soon. I also want to dig graves, and I want to clean up a lot of those bodies, which is going to take time, but one task at a time. One focus at a time. I'm curious how much of this episode is gonna be seen, because we're already at like 20 minutes recorded, but so much of it is just stuff that needs to get done. It might be getting cut. I'm not a big car guy. It's fun to do in Zomboid, but I don't know if I've ever told this story before now that I think about it. I was just thinking like, dang, man, you know, changing a tire ain't that hard. It's insane that we can fail while we do it. So we'll watch and you know, Laura will come over here and she'll get all of her tools out. And, you know, she uninstalls it pretty successfully, and then occasionally she'll install it on the first try. But yeah, she did there too. But more often, or I should say more often than I'd like, not more often than not, she fails at uninstalling and installing the tire. Now, listen, I'm not a car guy. Never was. Technology was more my thing. But I respect people who really enjoy cars and who can really like, you know, who just know cars inside and out, because there's a respect there. I know that passion, but I have my own, you know, my own version of it with where I'm at, which is video games, computers, that kind of thing. But I still know some basics. I could change a tire pretty simply. I've had to do it before. Look, she failed there again, you know. You undo it and you loosen the lug nuts in a star pattern, etc., etc. You bring the tire off, put it on, tighten in a star pattern, blah, blah, blah. However, while I sit here and critique a fictional character for failing to remove a tire, I think back to myself in my early 20s, somewhere around 22, maybe 23, maybe a little older. Doesn't really matter, because no matter what age I say, it doesn't do anything, doesn't fix the story. But you know, my car battery had died, and my dad and my friends and my mom and everybody's just like, hey, you know, change your car battery super easy. You can take care of it. I'm like, you know what? I can do it. Fine. I'll go buy. I bought a car battery at the auto dealer nearby. The Auto Zone, I think, specifically, not auto dealer, that's for cars, but you get my drift. I came back and I was excited. Now YouTube was still a thing, like this is YouTube era. So I was like, all right, I'm nervous. I don't really know how to do this. I'm gonna make sure, I'm gonna look it up, because I'm afraid I'm gonna electrocute myself. That was my biggest fear. I was so deathly afraid that I was gonna zap myself silly changing this car battery. I didn't want to do it. Now all told, changing car battery takes like 10 minutes, maybe, max. So here I am watching a YouTube video, and they're all like, be very careful not to do this, or put the positive on the negative, etc., etc. And I'm like, oh my God, that's so scary. How do I know? What if I do it anyway? What if I accidentally do it even though I know not to? What if I'm doing it the right way, then I second guess myself, and then I go put it on the wrong one and I electrocute myself, and then I die because I changed a car battery? Oh my God, will I die changing a car battery? Will I be the first person to ever die changing a car battery? And I would go out there and I would go start the process of changing a car battery, which isn't long, opening the hood, unattaching the wires, popping the battery out, etc., etc. But something that should have taken me 10 minutes, 10 minutes, took me, and I am not joking, there's no reason, it took me 5 hours. 5 hours to change a car battery. Mathis, the technological genius, who can build his own PC, who's not afraid to get in there and rip out guts and do his own thing and build, you know, his own computer. It was afraid to change a car battery. Was so nervous that he was going to do something wrong that something that took minutes took hours. Eventually I got it done. But I was never proud of myself, because those tutorial videos, you know, the tutorial videos that go step by step and purposely go slower so you can follow along, were like 1/16th of the length of how long it took me to change it. So, you know, I can't sit here and judge Laura for not knowing and not getting, you know, changing a car battery. More power to her, honestly, for having the self-discipline to come out here and do this repetitively until she deems herself smart enough to then move on to the next step. Back to the tires. All right, 3 tires down. We now move to the final tire of this vehicle. And I'm hoping with all 4 tires, once we're done, this will be the last thing we need to get that first point in mechanics. That first point is going to be the one that's the most important. Just gets the ball rolling, and it'll start opening the doors for us to be able to start tinkering with other things. I want to make sure I'm always having a screwdriver on hand after this as well, so I can make sure I'm doing the same thing when it comes to paying attention to my electronic skill, so that I always can start pulling apart small electronics just to bring that skill up. Because eventually, once they're up, I can start hot wiring, and once we can start hot wiring, the world is our oyster in many ways. All we would really need was to carry around an empty gas canister, and as long as we can find a nearby splash of gas, whatever car we want, so long as it has the protection or privacy from the zombies, can be ours. Well, the tires are all busted, all 4 of them on our war vehicle here, and we are really close to getting that first point in vehicles. Is there anything I can do here that I can start breaking apart? Oh, great. Let's zoom out. We need a wrench. No, we need to start taking apart tires, basically. We'll have a cigarette in the rain as we walk to the next vehicle. I'm not ending this thing without getting Mechanics 1. I don't care how long it takes me IRL. I'm very curious. I'm very curious how long this episode's gonna end up being, because I very rarely do like these kind of more grindy things on camera. But every once in a while, and I think I say this every time, I do like to do it on camera. Give you an idea of what it's like to get the task that you're trying to get done. Especially if it's a task I haven't done on in this playthrough particularly before. Changing tires and getting a real good look at the vehicle's UI. It's good for anybody who's just getting into it, or maybe just getting into that part of the game. The Michael Garcia story, the one that we ran before the animation build update, that was my first time really playing with vehicles, so it can be a while before people touch that stuff, you know? All right, we got a parking lot up ahead. I think that's going to be our best bet to try and get this finished up. I think we're just going to bang a hard left. No, let's go to the parking lot. Let's go north. I was thinking that we could maybe hit up a car in some one of these driveways, but there's too much of a risk of blind spots and getting caught out. We're getting real sweaty as well. We've been working real hard, and it's actually been working up a pretty big sweat for our character. All right, parking lot's up ahead. Just need one car safe enough, or that I can clear out safely enough. Yeah, this parking lot might be a wash. Actually, that car in the corner. Let's turn around. Hey, how's it going, ma'am? I see you're a big fan. I appreciate it. I want you to just take a nap, though. You look like you had a hard day. I'm gonna swing around out this way here. I want to hit this one right back here. I do not mind whacking a few Zeds if I got to. I want to check the corners. Check the trees. We'll run through them, try to attract some people. And just like that, oof. We finally level up mechanics after 40 minutes of just doing that, basically. We hit mechanics 1. I can safely bring Laura home, give her some food, let her rest. And maybe, just maybe, we'll do some wall building for the second half of this night. But for tonight, Laura's tapping out. Deservedly so.